there on an every 2 or 3 year basis. We've been following that fishery for a long time. We've got some pretty good data. About everything I'm going to tell you from now on is on this sheet of paper that I've got 75 copies of. They tell you in going to give a public talk school that you don't hand out this piece of paper while you're trying to talk, because everybody will look at the paper and they won't listen to you. So I'm going to do the talk, and then when we're done, I'm going to hand these out to anybody that wants one. You can have a summary of what I'm saying, all right? So for Father's Day 2009, I'm down by Quincy. I'm down by where I'm going to hunt deer tomorrow morning. And we get the call. There's a conservation officer at Mississippi, and he's got fish dying as he speaks. Fish jumping up on the shoreline trying to get out of the water. At that point, there's not a lot I can do. I can't count fish that aren't dead or that are dying. I have to count dead fish. In an active fish kill like that, there wasn't a lot I could do that day. In retrospect, I wished I'd have gotten in my car that morning and drove back here, though. I got back into town late that afternoon, did a quick assessment from my place. I called my entire staff, and we started in at 7:30 in the morning on that next morning on fish kill counts. Who thinks that our count's too conservative? I'm bound by law. There's a national method that is approved and will stand up in court. I cannot assess damages to a fish population based on personal opinion. I have to have something that is replicatable and defendable and has been defended in court. And that's what I have to do. In a big kill like that, and I'll be absolutely blunt, that nationwide approved court-tested system was not designed for anything this big. 90% of the fish kills that I go out on are small streams, 10 or 15 foot wide streams with a kill of 6 or 8 miles. An Elkhorn Creek 20-mile kill would be a big kill for me. We're poorly prepared. The method is poorly designed for a 53-mile fish kill on the Rock River.
This was huge.
I had to use it. I have no choice. I know in any case that fish kill counts are conservative, because all the fish don't come to the surface. I can only count what I can see. There's predation. There was a lot of predation on that Sunday from humans. And every fish that they took was a fish that I couldn't assess. I have trouble with fish that are floating. I do a 100-yard, the way the system works, in a kill longer than 4 miles, I count a 100-yard section per mile. All the dead fish in that 100-yard section. I do that for as long as the kill goes. Then I take an average of that per length and species. There's a value for every inch or every pound of every species that I do, and then it's just simple math, you multiply it out. Well, the Rock River is a big river. There was a lot of stuff floating. By the time we got out there at 7:30 Monday morning or so, within 22 hours after we got out there, there were already air bladders floating. Air bladders float means that the fish has ejected, the air bladder is what makes the fish float. The fish has ejected the air bladder, it's gone over a dam, or for whatever reason the air bladder is separated from the carcass. The fish is down to the bottom and I can't count it. Our kills stopped, our counts stopped at Prophetstown because so many fish had gone down that if we collected any more data, we were going to just dilute what we had already done. And at that point, we knew that 100,000 fish had already passed over the steel dam, and we're going, I'm just pulling a number. I had a district biologist at Erie. We never, was it Erie? Yeah, at Erie. And he was counting 30 fish a minute going under the Erie Bridge 24 hours before we got there, and none of those fish got counted. So the method is bad for big rivers, and I hope I never have to do it again. I've worked 35 years without doing it until this one time, and I hope I never have to do it again. And those of you that are pissed off about the number, you're right. I don't know what else I could have done. I really don't. We did what we could do and get to court. Let me go ahead. You'll have plenty of well, okay, go ahead. Jump right in.
With all due respect, sir, what are you guys gonna do about this?
I'll get to that. Come on. I'm right at the start of this. You gotta give me a chance. This kill happened fairly late in our growing season. It happened fairly late, but we did take every opportunity we could to stock whatever excess hatchery stocks we had. It wasn't adequate, but we did the best we could. We stocked 4,000 channel catboat, 3,000 pike, 50,000 smallmouth bass, and 164,000 walleye.
Why so little channel cat?
That's what we had.
When you stock a fish, how big of a fish are you stocking?
Those channel cat were, I think, about 7 inches. Those were nice fish.
What about the pike and smallmouth?
I didn't write that down. 2 inches. No, pike were probably 3, 4. The smallmouth 2.
Where'd you stock them at?
Good God, man! I'll give you lots of chances to work on me. Okay,
I'm just getting warmed up.
You'll get
You
your
got
shot.
us bad.
You'll get your shot. Assessments. One of the things we thought we would try and do was, one of the things that you never see is, and that we're doing now, is damage assessment to non-fish resources. We went out and surveyed the mussels in the river for a couple days later on this summer. Mussels have the ability to estivate, which means in a bad environmental time they can actually dig into the bottom and kind of hibernate for a few days. And luckily we had very few mussel mortalities. I don't know, maybe some of you do know, mussels do have a stage in their life cycle where they're parasitic on fish. So I'm sure we lost some mussel resources just because of reproductive losses. But they're doing relatively well. Our estimate, as we said, which was terribly low, 73,000 about fish, $273,000. We estimated 36,339 catfish with a total value of $43,349 just for the catfishes. We went out this fall. There's a bunch of age and growth and some of our mark and recapture data on here too, but I won't go into that. As Matt said, we went out this fall. We replicated the effort that we've done 4 or 5 times in the last 10 years. The last time we did it was 2006.